What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome to Try This Out. Now this is a series that I did back in Call of Duty Ghosts, and what it essentially is a recommendation for a particular setup that I want you guys to give a shot. These are typically kind of what I consider to be hidden gems. They're setups that you don't really see anybody use, or not very many people use, and they're not necessarily the best setup in the game because everybody already knows kind of the best setups in the game, but they're still things that are very effective and fun to use. In today's episode, I want you guys to try something out with the SN6. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so those of you that have played with the SN6 in the past will probably know that it's not really a gun that ever stood out. It had decent range, it did okay damage as well, but it did have a little bit of recoil. A lot of the recoil was also horizontal recoil, so it kicks side to side. And that's really unpredictable recoil, and it's hard to control that recoil. And that really, to me, kind of ruined that gun, and it made it a gun that I never really wanted to use because I couldn't be accurate with it. At least if something has a lot of recoil, but it's a straight vertical recoil, you can predict that and you can control it. But the SN6 was always very difficult to control. With the recent patch that the Xbox One got, and I believe the PS4 is going to be getting this very soon if they haven't already, I could be mistaken, they may have it already. But the SN6, they actually did some buffing to the SN6. Now, they didn't change the range or the damage or anything like that. The only thing they changed was the recoil. And they actually changed it pretty considerably. So now you still have all the positives that the SN6 already had, but now it's got much less recoil and it's very easy to control. So it's suddenly become a gun that is very usable. I wouldn't say it's quite as good as the ASM-1 or anything, but it's still a very, very good gun. So just in case you guys are wondering or you don't know, I'll just quickly list the important stats of the SN6. So the SN6 kills in 4 shots up close and then 6 shots at a distance. So that's pretty much average for the SMGs. It's a little bit weaker than the ASM-1 as far as your up close damage, because the ASM-1 will kill in 3 shots up close, but it's still very average as far as SMGs go. Now the part that kind of makes it stand out is the first 4 shots of the SN6 will be at 1090 rounds per minute, which is very, very fast. It's actually faster than any of the other SMGs, aside from some of the variants of the KF5 or the MP11. Now the base fire rate for the SN6, this is every other bullet, not the first 4 bullets that you fire, but every bullet after that, is going to be 800 rounds per minute, which is above average, I would say, or I guess it's around average. It's not super high, not super low, but it's pretty decent. Now the problem before was these are pretty good, they're kind of balanced stats, but it had high recoil as well, and this is why it never really competed with the other SMGs, or at least not very well, not as well as it could have or should have. Since the patch, this is now a very accurate gun, and it kills very, very quickly as long as you land your first 4 shots, because it deals those shots very, very quickly. It fires those shots at over 1,000 rounds per minute. What I'm suggesting now is to add rapid fire to increase this even more. And to kind of compensate for the increased recoil that you're going to get with rapid fire, you always do get increased recoil with rapid fire because you're firing bullets faster and each bullet gives you a little bit of recoil, so it kind of stacks on top of each other. But with the grip, while using rapid fire on the SN6, you still have a very, very accurate gun post-patch, and it kills extremely quickly, especially up close. Now, I wouldn't be using this gun for any sort of longer range gunfight, but anytime you're up close or you're kind of at a mid-range or like a mid-SMG range, this thing absolutely melts and it destroys most of the guns in the game. You're actually very, very competitive against the ASM-1s. I'm beating ASM-1s with this thing very often at that close to mid-range. It's not the greatest at the longer ranges, like I said, but as long as you play to the strengths of this weapon, you will be very successful. Now, the gameplay that you're watching right now, I'm using the Money variant. It's an elite variant of the SN6. But you don't necessarily even need a variant for this to be a very, very competitive weapon. So I would say toss this setup on any of the SN6 variants you have, or even the base SN6, and give it a go. It might work out for you, it might not, but I find it's kind of a diamond in the rough that I don't really see anybody use, and it's something that you can be very effective with if you use it properly. So that's a setup that I'd like you guys to try for the SN6. If you guys have any suggestions for future episodes of this series, I'm looking for things that aren't really used too often, something that you don't see all the time. So I don't want to see like ASM-1 with grip and advanced rifling or something like that. I want to see things that people don't really use too often, but are still really good setups. If you have any suggestions for anything in a future episode, then please feel free to leave it in the comment section below, and I'll give it a shot. If I like it, if it's something that I feel is worth sharing, then I will definitely share that in future episodes. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.